as
All
well.
right. So actually the main thing that kind of got me into Bitcoin was child trafficking. Not that I
Okay.
was doing it, but that I watched the movie Sound of Freedom. I don't know if you've seen that before or not,
Yeah,
but
it's a good movie.
great movie. But it really kind of just made me sick and angry at
Mhm.
people that would do that kind of stuff. Obviously, having six kids at the time, I don't think I had six kids. I probably had like four, something like that. I don't remember how long ago that was, but it's just like kind of hit me pretty heavy, and so I just kind of wanted to see like why is this kind of stuff happening, and especially like in the United States, you kind
Mhm.
of think of almost like third world country ish
Mhm.
stuff. Maybe
Yeah.
that's just my American mindset, but so I just kind of started digging into it, which led me to the government, and that's where all the money was,
Yep.
and that was really the root cause and issue here with trafficking is money, and then obviously just the depravity of mankind just being so broken as the two culprits that really kind of force that situation where that's what people are trying to do with money with kids is just terrible.
This episode is brought to you by Microseed. Microseed engraves your entire Bitcoin seed phrase onto fireproof, waterproof steel or titanium. Small enough to fit in your palm, strong enough to last a lifetime. It's durable, easy to hide, and built for secure storage.
If your seed phrase is still on paper, it's time to upgrade and take self custody to the next level. Because not your keys, not your coins. Go to microseed.io and use code LUNA, LUNA, for a discount, or check the link in the description below.
Welcome back to the Lunas with the to the Moon with the Lunas podcast. We appreciate all of you guys tuning in. Bitcoin price is at 81,600 hovering. We have a great episode lined up. We have Cody Anderson, a husband, father of six, an entrepreneur based in Wyoming. He and his wife Christine married for 18 years, which is
I
awesome.
know. Congrats.
And raising and homeschooling their children while building a life centered on faith and self-sufficiency. Cody works full-time in a railroad signal maintenance and runs a small coffee roasting business. He also serves as an elder at his church, participates in Bitcoin mining, and is pursuing financial education and coaching. Together, Cody and Christine are developing their homestead, focused on creating a more independent and intentional lifestyle grounded in family, faith, and freedom. Can't believe he made it on this podcast with
Yeah.
all that's going on in his life right now. We were so pumped up. Dude, Cody,
Seriously.
man, how are you doing today, man?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's enjoyable to be back on a podcast. I've done a few of them. I used to host a podcast back in the day with a couple of my brother-in-laws, and it's just a fun experience to be back doing it and just talking. And it's a different context for what I was doing, but I still
Okay.
love it, and I'm doing great. All the kids are in bed, and it's dark here, and nighttime snowing, so just chilling inside, I guess.
Oh,
Dude,
so
nice.
good.
That's cool that you had a podcast before. I didn't know that. And we could have
Yeah.
thrown that on the intro
I
as
mean,
well. Like,
let's just
hey,
add it on
let's
to
just
the
to all
multiple.
the hats you're wearing already. Um,
So good.
Yeah, man. So I just wanted to kind of dive into this. Like, how did you first get introduced to Bitcoin, and how did you integrate that with your coffee business as
All
well?
right. So actually the main thing that kind of got me into Bitcoin was child trafficking. Not that I
Okay.
was doing it, but that I watched the movie Sound of Freedom. I don't know if you've seen that before or not,
Yeah,
but
it's a good movie.
great movie. But it really kind of just made me sick and angry at
Hmm.
people that would do that kind of stuff. Obviously, having six kids at the time, I don't think I had six kids. I probably had like four, something like that. I don't remember how long ago that was, but it was just, like kind of hit me pretty heavy. And so um I just kind of wanted to see like why is this kind of stuff happening? And especially like in the United States, you kind
Hmm.
of think of almost like third world country ish
Hmm.
stuff. Maybe
Yeah.
that's just my American mindset. But so I just kind of started digging into it, which led me to the government. Um, and that's where all the money was,
Yep.
and that was really the root cause and issue here with trafficking is money, and then obviously just the depravity of mankind, just being so broken as the two culprits that really kind of force that situation where that's what people are trying to do with money with kids is just terrible. So I followed that, which kind of just I don't know, just opened my eyes to like kind of some politics, and then just like government financing and things like that. Just I was never really into politics. I was just like, yeah, I'll vote, mark the box that I'm supposed to and move on. Don't really think too much about it. Um, but it just kind of led me down the rabbit hole of economics. And then Bitcoin somewhat. Bitcoin was a little bit more of a subtle thing, since I was probably at that time, I was trying to make a quick buck as well. So I was kind of dabbling in day trading and crypto, and it was kind of like all the rage at the moment, and like GameStop hype and everything. So I was like, yeah, I kind of need to make some extra cash and be good to do something. So I have some banking and financial background as well that I think I probably left off of there. But I was like, so I could probably do this, and I just was always behind the 8 ball. I was like, this just doesn't seem to be working. So I was like Googling podcasts and trying to, cause I wait for trains a lot with my job. And so there's opportunity to kind of listen to podcasts. So I do that quite a bit too. So I was listening to all these different podcasts about money and finances and economics and banking and Bitcoin. And then kind of the Bitcoin stuff really just started kind of pulling me more and more a little bit. So I was like, man, this seems like the most profitable of all these things. And there's just something different about it. I was listening to a podcast known as Simply Bitcoin. And those guys on there were just saying things like, never put any money in that you aren't willing to lose. And so had all these cryptos, and I was actually even mining, I think, Bitcoin on a laptop, but I didn't know what I was doing at the time.
Yeah.
So I think I lost that. It wasn't a ton, but it was still an okay amount, probably a few $100s worth at that time. And that was probably, I don't know, 2014, 15, I guess, is when I kind of first started dabbling. It was a number of years. And so just over time, just listening to podcasts, then I started doing my own reading. I kind of started to realize like, well, it doesn't seem like any of these other ones are working. I keep being behind this 8 ball and none of them are progressing. And all these guys are saying, oh yeah, you make millions, you can do this, you do that. And it just never happened. I was like, I'm probably like the one-off guy. Or I even paid money to like some of these guys to get their like Patreon, like behind the scenes first thing. Like, we're releasing a coin, you can get some too. And I was like, oh, that sounds reasonable. Well, it's not. It's a terrible rug pull. Um, like we ended up selling our house and moving. The idea was to put most of that into Bitcoin, because I was like, oh, this is going to hold the most value. So we'll put that in Bitcoin. And then when I'm ready to remodel this house, then I have the money to do it. Well, the rabbit hole got pretty deep with Bitcoin. Then we had to have a conversation, me and my wife, about not selling the Bitcoin, because I didn't feel like that was what we should do.
Yeah.
So that wasn't necessarily the easiest of conversations to have, but in the end, it ended up being all right, and she got on board for the most part, I would say. Um,
That's great that you shared that too with like your wife and having those conversations in the background, because that's what we were having in the background as well, like what we should do, when buying a house and stuff like that, or just kind of like, are we going to sell this Bitcoin, like when are we going to sell this Bitcoin? And so having those conversations in the background is like, there's always a Bitcoiner out there, but there's always a significant other or a spouse.
Yeah.
Like, hey, like, you on board with this, or like, are you having doubts, or are we in a pyramid scheme, or like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And so we knew those conversations were happening in the background, and that's kind of what kind of brought this whole podcast. There's couples out there that are having this, right, and they want to know how do they navigate it as best they can. And then we all dabbled in those altcoins, and we all kind of got rug pulled, or somewhat, right? And that's just a learning experience, right? Like, and who knows, like, dude, you're trying to like come up, right? Like, cryptocurrency, like, and what year was this? What year was this, Cody?
Gosh, it was probably, when I was doing all the day trading and altcoin stuff, that was probably 2016, 17.
Oh yeah, dude, and you were ahead of the curve too. Like, you were way ahead of the curve. So I do. Don't beat yourself up on that, man. That's you're just trying to make moves. I can always appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I just chalked it
and
up
then
to like you said, I just chalked it up to learning. It's like, I learned. It's kind of like Edison with the light bulb. I learned all these ways of not doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And then and it's so funny too how like you went down this rabbit hole, with child trafficking and the government and the money, and then how all things kind of leads you back to Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin always like leads you whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's fitness, whether it's health, whether it's
Mhm.
morals, values. Like it's just things always lead back to Bitcoin
Yeah.
somehow, some
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
which is very interesting. You shared you have a coffee business. How
Mhm.
did this come into fruition? And kind of tie us back to like accepting Bitcoin with
Okay.
this, and
Yeah.
if you don't mind adding.
No, no, not at all. Yeah. So, I mean, growing up, I loved coffee. Well, I thought I loved coffee. I liked the black stuff that my dad called coffee.
Yeah.
I've turned into a snob. Um, so I drank it from probably, I don't know, probably started drinking when I was probably 14,
Wow.
15, something like that. My goal was to drink it black like my dad. So I started heavy cream and sugar and then eventually weaned myself off of all that to be able to drink like the good stuff like Folgers, Maxwell House, like
Yeah.
straight black, which I can't even still stand the smell of it now. Um, and then my wife, when she was in college for nursing, she was working as a barista. So we'd go there, I'd hang out, we'd go eat coffee. That was just kind of like, that's what you do. You go get coffee and
Yeah.
hang out. So we just loved coffee. And then when we got married and moved here, where we're at, there was just no coffee shop here that you could just go and chill at. A couple little drive-through places, one I was kind of not very comfortable, but nothing that had the like coffee shop hanging vibe, just where you just
Yeah.
could go and just be there for a while. And my wife was like, "Well, what if we just started one?" I was like, "I mean, we could try it."
Yeah.
So I was drinking coffee from at that time. I've kind of like my coffee journey is a whole nother story, but by that time of considering this, I had been drinking the coffee that we own now because some other friends actually started the roasting company in Casper. They were missionaries in Uganda, came back to the States, found an importer that got beans directly from their friend's farm that they knew. And so they started supporting them via coffee roasting.
Yeah.
So they ended up playing a church in Colorado, and we knew them. So I was drinking their coffee, had their subscription and everything. So I called Matt up and I was like, "Hey, man, like we want to start this coffee shop. Can we get coffee from you guys?" He's like, "Yeah, you can. Also, our business is for sale. You should just buy it." And I was like,
Whoa.
Wow.
That's okay. Well, all right. I guess we could talk about it. And I
Yeah.
ended up having to go to Colorado for training for the job that I have now at the railroad. And that's where they were at. So I hung out with him and we talked and stuff. And then on the way back, I stopped at a bank and kind of gave him all the information. And about 6 weeks later, we signed papers that we were the owners now. So that
Wow.
was right at the beginning of 2019.
Okay.
And so the roasting company was about 2 hours north of where I live. Every month I drive up, roast, because it was just roasting. It was just subscription based. So I'd do all the roasting. We hand stamp all of our bags. It's all manual stuff. I'd get everything all ready. I'd get it all boxed. I'd ship it all out, and then I'd take enough back home. So if I had any orders come out throughout the month, I'd be able to ship it out.
Wow.
Um, so then I do that once a month. I did that for about a year. And then comes 2020 with all the, COVID insanity and whatnot. Um, and we at that time also when we bought the business, I think about 3 months in, we ended up buying a coffee trailer
Okay.
that our friends Matt and his wife who owned the roastery actually owned the exact trailer that they sold to somebody else, but
Wow.
they never used it. So I was
Okay.
like, I wonder if they'd sell it back because it's already ready. So they sold
Yeah.
it back to us. So we got the trailer back.
Wow.
So
Oh my
so during
gosh.
COVID, we're like, well, what if we just set the trailer up because nobody can go inside anywhere? We'll hire somebody. Some friends of ours, their sister lost her job in Texas. So I was like, you want to learn to be a barista? She's like, I guess. So we
Wow.
ran a trailer and I found a building. I remodeled the building. And then in 2020, Black Friday of 2020, we moved into the coffee shop. So we started the coffee shop then. And we actually just sold the coffee shop portion of the business the beginning of April. Um,
Okay.
Okay.
so it's that part's off my plate now, and the
Yeah.
trailer. But I'm still roasting and still doing a subscription, but just doing everything else that I'm doing. I had to cut something. I need
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
home with kids, and the kids and my wife need to be a priority more than they. I mean, not that they haven't been, but it just needed to be more of a focus, and so
Yeah.
I had to cut that because I was about all that I could really cut.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
that
Good
is
to hear.
incredible. What a crazy story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
it's
how
it,
like
it is crazy.
all these things just kept like doors opening like, "Hey, we should
Yeah,
start a coffee shop. Hey, by the way, I don't need this anymore. Do you want to
Yeah.
yeah,
take
Oh
over?"
my gosh.
yeah, for
That is
sure.
wild.
It's definitely
That
all
is
like we prayed about it, and like we're like, well, God, if you want this to happen, then let it happen. If you don't want it to happen, then, allow something to just not work out. And I mean, it was just
Right.
like smooth sailing. So we're
Yeah.
like, well, that seemed pretty straightforward.
Man. So you guys still have your trailer, you said?
We just sold it. Yeah, we just sold the
Okay, okay.
trailer and the cafe, but we still roast or I do, I guess, still roast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Okay.
Yeah.
awesome.
And then I read something too. So it looked like you guys were the only merchants accepting Bitcoin in the state of
Yeah.
Wyoming. It was like what, 3 to 4 years, you guys?
Yeah. Yeah. So I started accepting Bitcoin. Well, I started getting into Bitcoin like hot and heavy there in 2020, right around when
Okay.
Michael Taylor started buying. I was buying not nearly as much, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, but I was still like, oh man, this guy seems pretty smart. And I kind of started following him and I was like kind of relating because even though he obviously has never met me or knows me and, never will probably, but I was like, oh, this guy got in right when I got in. So I was kind of like, brother from another
Yeah.
mother kind of idea. Um, so we started doing that. I was like, oh, we should accept Bitcoin at the coffee shop. And so we ended up doing that. It was a little rough because I was just doing it natively. Like I just downloaded an app, like, a wallet on the phone, on the iPad. And if people
Mhm.
wanted to use Bitcoin, then we type it up in Square, see what the price is, swap over to another app, put it in, swap it around. It was a little cumbersome having other employees do it because I wasn't there,
Yeah.
most of the
Mhm.
time during business hours because I work full time as well. And
Yeah.
so that was, it was kind of rough, but we did a number of transactions, not a whole lot. And then we ended up um, finding a pretty good merchant with Mana wallet, so we started using them quite a bit. And then obviously Square rolled it out natively just in the last year or so. And then we also partnered up with Oshi and did Bitcoin rewards.
Okay.
And so you purchase you purchase coffee, and I give you Sats back.
Okay.
The cool thing is that's like completely like non KYC Bitcoin for the customer because I
Yeah.
bought the Bitcoin and I have it
Yeah.
in an account, and then when they withdraw it, it comes out of my wallet.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
give it to them natively like that, which is pretty cool.
That
That
is
is
Um,
really
cool.
yeah. So and at that time on BTC Maps there was 3 total merchants in the state that accept Bitcoin. We're the only like cafe, restaurant, coffee shop, and there was like a window store or something and some other random business. And so yeah, we were kind of paving the way here in Wyoming.
Dude, that is so cool.
that's
Like,
amazing.
and then that's funny. You're like, Michael Saylor's doing it. This guy's really smart. We got the same wave. Let's go, dude. That's awesome. But
Yep.
hey, you're not wrong though, right? Like he's
Yeah.
still buying like crazy, and we're
Oh
still
yeah.
stacking. So
Yep.
it's a great time.
Did you grow up in Wyoming?
No, I grew up in Colorado.
Okay.
So I'm a greenie. I was from Denver originally.
Okay.
Okay.
But I've now been in Wyoming um longer than I've been anywhere else, I guess. I've been here
Okay.
for 23 years. I was in Denver, Colorado for like 15, 16. I did a
Uh,
3.5 year time I did my time in Nebraska. Um, 3.5 years.
Oh,
Yeah, we've been here
we've
for a
driven
while.
through Nebraska a few times
Yeah.
and it's yeah.
Yeah. You're doing your
423
time,
miles of emptiness and
dude.
sadness.
Crazy.
Totally.
The hey, I wanted to ask you too, Cody. So, I know you also big mining Bitcoin as well. I've explained this to my wife. I know it's always a little bit. It's always sometimes comes clear,
From
hearing it from
someone else,
someone
yeah.
else. So, if you don't mind sharing, I know you're Bitcoin mining. Describe to her what this is
Yeah.
and like how you kind of integrate it in your life with
Okay.
everything that you got going on.
All right. So, I mean, I've got a couple like little ones on my desk here. I just got some
Okay.
little like lotto miners, a couple bit axes. But the main stuff that what we're doing will be powered by solar. So I'll
Okay.
be, zero cost to me.
Yeah.
Home mining is pretty expensive because most people don't have very good rates.
Mhm.
And so you can't really do it very feasibly at home anymore with your return. And so, I mean, what it is, I mean, you got a computer that runs a particular algorithm and discovers this equation, puts all this stuff together. And if you are the one who does it first, basically, then you win the block. It's kind of like the
Mhm.
really simple version of it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
how I kind of help other people understand. It's kind of like
Mhm.
a race to build this puzzle. I
Mhm.
have on my side screen over here. one of the websites that you can go to, and it just kind of shows all the transactions. Like it's called Bitfeed,
Yep.
and you know the little blocks floating down. It's like a little screensaver,
Yep.
and so like that's kind of like a way to help understand. Like, okay, this is the block, and it's being constructed, and you can click on all these little squares and see what it is. And okay, this guy's sending 19, almost 20 Bitcoin worth 1.63 million somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool because you can see that it's anonymous, but it's also an open market that like Ledger, so you can see everything going on live.
Yeah.
You can't do that with Visa. You go to
Yeah. You
Walmart,
can't do that with.
you don't
Yeah.
get to see your transactions with Visa. I don't get to
Yeah.
see your transactions with Visa, but I
Yeah.
can
There's
see
no proof
everybody
of work
else's.
there. We're just in the
Yeah,
dark always.
yeah,
The
yeah.
and
It's
it
just like
also too.
construction. It's
Yeah.
cool.
Also, too, is with Bitcoin mining too, right? Like you saying, like it's a puzzle, right? There, all these people are putting these things together. These you see all these different transactions. So, what happens when you get like you hit the right block,
Right.
or what does that? What does that look
Yeah.
like,
What are the
Yeah,
Cody?
benefits?
I
Yeah.
mean,
What's the
I
benefits?
wish I wish I could tell you I've never hit a block.
Yeah, yeah,
I would love to hit a block. I mean, the idea, there's a couple different versions. You solo mine or kind of solo lotto mine, is, I've got these bid axes. If just for absolute luck, one of these happens to make the block and hit it, then this little device that cost me like $100 will be rewarded 3.125 Bitcoin,
correct.
at whatever market price is. So,
Yep.
81,005 right now times
Hmm.
3.125. I mean,
Wow.
that's a pretty
Yeah,
decent little payday.
that's
That
a
would all
great.
go directly right into my wallet,
Yeah,
non KYC, straight in. There we go.
boom. Three
Beautiful,
point.
beautiful thing.
Yeah, 3.125 Bitcoin you would
Wow.
get if you get the right block, which is awesome.
Yeah,
That's
Like,
amazing.
and again,
yeah,
he's just contributing to the network as well
Yeah.
and the protection
hmm
of it and, just making sure everything goes smoothly and
right.
they just keep running, right? And it's cool because Cody can do it, we can do it,
Right.
anyone else can do it. It doesn't
I'm
matter.
curious, like, why are a lot of people mining Bitcoin, or is it just like I don't know? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely a lot of people doing it. I think the hash rate difficulty right now, I think we're a little bit underneath the zettahash, which in order to understand like the amount of process that's in the Bitcoin network is pretty mind-boggling. Like it's kind of like when you go from millions to billions to trillions of dollars, like
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay, it's spelled millions, but with a T. No,
Yeah.
it's a lot bigger. Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
size is so substantial, and like yeah, the amount of like all this stuff right now, the quantum FUD that's going around, like oh, quantum's gonna break Bitcoin. Like if quantum will crack Bitcoin or can crack Bitcoin, everything else has already been completely decimated because
Yeah.
everything else is a way easier target.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
there's no way that they're going to just go directly to Bitcoin and ignore everyone else's billions and millions and trillions of dollars
Mm-mm.
in their accounts. They're gonna
Mm-mm.
wipe all that first.
Yeah.
Um, so like yeah, and then so the lotto mining thing, you get that reward. But then there's pool mining, which is what we'll be doing with our solar setup. I'll have about 12 different miners, and then what you do is you just get all of your power together, and you try to find that block. So you're combining forces with other people, other miners.
Mhm.
Could be another person like y'all, or it could be someone like Ocean Mining who's got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds to thousands of other miners, and you're all
Yep.
getting together. Then you find a block, and then you split it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I
okay.
think Ocean said that they typically find. I think Matthew Crowder was talking about that today. They find about 2 blocks a day is what they average. Right now
Wow.
they're a little under that. So if you mine with them in a pool, you'd be splitting two blocks a day with them. I don't know what your actual cut would be because it's whatever you're putting into it, you get out of it. So that's the proof
Mhm.
of work. You don't get. I could put in one of these little bid axes that's like one little terahash, with all these other thousands and thousands. They're not going to give me the same reward. You
Right.
kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
you get what you put into it a
Put
little
in,
bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but
interesting.
yeah, so there are a lot of miners. There's not as many people, like individuals like us doing it.
Mhm.
There's Tyler Stevens, who's out of Colorado. He's kind of started a whole movement in the Bitcoin mining space called heat punks. and it's basically using the Bitcoin miners for heat reuse. And so you can use, because they put out a lot of power, or they use a lot of power and put out a lot of heat.
Mm.
But typically, like, they think of these things as like, oh, this massive, massive power draw. Well, I mean, typically it does take a decent amount, but it's like a little bit more than the space heater is all it
Yeah.
takes power wise.
Oh,
But it's
okay.
putting out a ton of heat. So he's got a place down in Colorado called the Space. They use 3 Bitcoin miners to heat their whole 5,000 square foot building.
Wow.
They invented the Bitcoin hot tub. That was at the Bitcoin National Conference in Vegas.
Okay.
Not, I think they were supposed to be there again this year, but I know they were there a couple years ago. Um, and so yeah, this mining and then utilizing the mining for some other purposes as well, which
Yeah.
is part of what our project is doing and how we're going to use it here on our property. We've got cows, and chickens, and we're going to be doing a greenhouse and things like that. And so
So
it's obviously cold out here in the wintertime. You know, we have more winter, it seems like, than we have any other weather here. So
mhm.
my stock tank needs to have heat in it to keep the water from freezing. Well, if I can
Yeah.
utilize a Bitcoin miner to recirculate the heat through the stock tank, well, then I can make money while I'm keeping my cows able to drink at the
Yeah.
same time. So
Yeah.
we're going to be doing that. Our greenhouse will be heated year round with Bitcoin miners. I'll probably heat my garage with it because why not? I'll have the heat available.
That's
So yeah, just
amazing.
finding innovative ways to reuse this equipment, and then at the same time, I'm working on this solar project, so that'll save me on my power bill. So I won't be
Yeah.
dependent on the grid anymore. I'll provide my own power, run my
Yeah.
miner, power my house, and use it to heat other things. Um, and so yeah, it's kind of, that's the whole like self-sovereign, self-sustaining. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a lot of work, a lot of learning, a lot of planning, but in the end, once it gets all set up and it's a working machine, then I kind of have it prototype and I can
Yeah.
help other people do the same thing.
That is
Dude, that
incredible.
is so cool.
I
And
I was like I'm like okay, so did you always have this mindset of wanting to homestead, or did it kind of like
No,
develop as you like
learn
no,
Bitcoin because this is what
no.
Bitcoiners think.
Yeah. So part of that is Bitcoin. Probably the majority of it's my wife.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not blaming her, but giving her the credit. I am a BMX skydive snowboard person. That's,
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I
Okay.
went. You guys are in California. You've probably heard of Camp Woodward out there. Um, in
Yeah.
Tehachapi. I went there twice. So I've ridden
Okay.
with pros like BMX. Like that's my passion. That's my dream. I love it. Mountain bike downhill, defy gravity. I'm happy. Cows, cowboy boots, cow anything other than on my plate never crossed my mind. I am the exact opposite right now of what I ever thought I would be. Um, I've got chickens, I've got dogs, I've got cows. We're gonna have sheep. Now I'm like, we should build this greenhouse, and we should have. I'm thinking I'm gonna do probably 300 sheep or chickens. I'm gonna do like 300 chickens. We're gonna build this, and I'm gonna build this barn, and then we're gonna do this. We're gonna have a whole row of chickens that lay eggs, and we're gonna do these ones, and we're gonna make meat birds, and we're gonna sell this. So yeah,
And
no, I wasn't originally, but now, yeah, it's all what I'm about.
I
that
love
is so
this.
funny. And somehow, somewhere, there's gonna be a ramp.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I actually have one behind my garage.
Let's go.
There has
There's
to
gonna
be
be
a
like a
ramp to
half
go.
pipe somewhere over the
Yeah,
chickens through
I've
the
got
greenhouse.
Do that.
yeah,
Oh, dude.
I've got 4 boys, and I'm teaching them the ways of the extreme, athlete. So yeah,
Oh
I still
man,
Dude,
I'm
drive.
that
sure
is great.
I don't know how your wife is taking it. I feel like I'd be holding my breath every day. But
Yeah.
um and then so are your kids kind of now like in the homesteading world, right? So now
Mhm.
they're like really getting more involved now that
Right.
how
Oh
old's
yeah.
your oldest?
She'll be 15 here in a couple months.
Okay,
Okay,
wow.
nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yes, they're obviously older enough to be able to help and do
Contribute.
Yeah.
these
Oh
and
yeah. Yeah.
contribute.
And
That's so
that
cool.
was kind of our philosophy when it comes to kids is like, a lot of people when they have kids, they start to then live their life around their kids.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And their kids and their kids' activities run their life.
Yeah.
And we're like, we want to do stuff and let our kids do things, but we also aren't going to structure our entire life around them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
'Cause life isn't always going to be about them, and it isn't always going to
Y-
be, you know, how it is even growing up. Like if everything's all about me when I'm a kid, then when I'm older and I get a job, then I get broadsided because like, well, what I thought it was all about me.
Yes.
It's just
Yes.
not though. It's all about not you actually.
Yeah.
And so we kind of tried and have kind of really structured our life in that way that whatever we're doing, we're bringing our kids with us. So we
Yeah.
turn a lot of heads. When we come into a building and when we just keep coming into the building,
Yeah.
and it's like, well, are they all yours? No, we just found some on the road. We just pick them up as
We
we
just
go.
picked him up.
I love those questions.
I'm
Those
like,
are
yeah.
so
I mean, look at them. They all look exactly like me. Of course they're mine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Dude, that
they
is
get up.
awesome.
The kids get up early in the morning. My oldest boy, he gets up at about 5:45, and he gets up and he does some schoolwork, and then he goes out and does the chores for the cows and throws hay and gets them going. And the other boy, when he gets up, his job is the chickens, and the other one gets up and he does the chicks, and then my daughter does
Nice.
the dogs. And so yeah, they've got their chores, they've got their tasks, and they don't get paid for any of it because they live here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There are some
exactly.
stuff that
No,
we'll pay them for, but yeah, the
yeah,
Dude,
chores.
that is so good because it instills hard work and like it instills like that work ethic at a very
Yeah,
young age, which I do think a lot of people like kind of like, covet their kids and they kind of like, block them and try to like
protect them.
protect them, like
mhm,
Protect them.
overprotect them too. I feel
Yeah,
like everyone just has like this shield on their
yeah,
kids. Like, nah, like you have to just let kids be kids. Like we let our kids go to the park all the time and
mhm,
they'll fall, right? And I'll just let them like figure it out, right? Because I'm not always gonna be we're not always gonna be there, right? And like you said, when they're gonna grow up, they're like,
mhm,
no one's always gonna be like, oh, are you okay, Johnny?
yeah,
Like no, it's gonna be like, no, like, oh, let me dust myself off
yeah,
and let me,
that was gnarly. I need to
keep
keep going.
and keep on
yeah,
going.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm not gonna do that again, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
And everyone, I don't know. So, and then,
Yeah.
you just see different parentings and to each their own again. Everyone's doing their own thing. There's no parenting book. So I'm not saying don't do what you're doing. I'm just saying, we just do things differently around
Yeah.
here,
And you
right?
guys homeschool also.
Yes, yeah, we do.
Nice.
Dude, so
Yeah.
good.
We're choosing to
Like,
homeschool also
Yeah.
as long as we
awesome, yeah.
can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It seems to be. I mean, with the stuff the way everything's going anymore, and you just keep hearing more and more stuff in the public school and even private schools, honestly.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And it's just we can get the high quality education that we're wanting for our kids.
Yep.
They do some stuff online. We do our own stuff as well. My two oldest kids are doing an Austrian economics class online.
Oh, so good.
One of them's in like speech and debate online. I just watched his debate on this last week. So there's a lot of resources. You don't have to be this like wizard of knowledge in order to like school
Right.
your kids. Like you just teach them the things that they need to know to survive, how to
Right.
read, and there's easy stuff like old school McGuffey readers. Like that's what we use to teach our kids to read, and they love it, and it's
Mhm.
simple and it's straightforward. And yeah, it seems to be what we like. And then, I mean, and it's great because like they're if they're dedicated and they're on the ball, like they'll get done before lunch every day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they've got all day to do whatever. My son's like doing woodworking and they're all in 4-H. And so he's like built a bench and he's built himself a bookshelves for his room. And
Yeah.
yeah, he's just bored. I'm like, go find something to build, man. We got 5
Yeah.
acres here. Just go find something to do.
Attend the farm. Attend
Yeah,
the farm. There's
like,
always something to do. There's always something
yeah.
to do out
It's
there.
like, and
Oh
if you
man.
can't find anything, I need all the bricks that are in the pile up there moved over here because it's gross up there. It needs to be over here.
He's like, I'm finding something really
I'm
fun. So
gonna
I'm
find
gonna find
something. I'm gonna go build a bench.
Always works.
always.
Oh my god, that is so
That's
good. What were
awesome.
we gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say I really I mean I used to work in the classroom setting as a
Mhm.
teacher and again it's totally different. I'm very grateful for that time for sure and it's definitely helped me in this journey also.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's it's encouraging to like you don't have to be this like you don't have to be an educator to be to educate your kids. You are the
Right.
best educator for your kids.
Mhm.
I feel like our kids were a gift from God for us to be able to steward them and guide them and love on them however they need to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think it's so cool. I've in my mind it would be so nice to be able to homestead and like do all those things, but again, I'm like you. I'm like I mean, I'm not BMXing or anything, but I I'd rather like eat the meat that's on my plate and like show
Yeah.
up and it just be there, not really
Right.
like having to deal with all of it. But out here where we are, oh my gosh, the sourdough making, the chickens, holy cow, it's coming out of the woodworks. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Everyone's doing it.
everyone
Everyone.
is
Flip over
sourdoughing
fat.
and chickens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I get it. I get it. Because I'll get a loaf of sourdough from someone that's sourdoughing, and I'm like, this is the best bread I've ever eaten in my
This is
life.
bomb.
Yeah. So
This is
good.
bomb.
Yeah.
It's so good.
The Cody, what I wanted to share too is like it's so funny, like when people always ask, like, hey, you're homeschooling your kids, like, oh, like, but what if, like, they always tie it to like, well, like, how are they gonna communicate with other kids? Like, are they gonna like, are they gonna be able to like talk to people? I'm like, what are we talking about? Number one, they talk to us all day,
Yep.
like, and then we take them out to public. Like my
We're always out
sister-in-law,
in public.
yeah, we're always out in public more than we're just like in. But
Costumes.
they always tie it to like, dude, are your kids gonna be able to like talk to other kids? I'm like, why is
Yep.
that always?
Not even other kids, just talk to other people.
Yeah, to other people,
It's
like,
just,
are they
yeah.
gonna be able to talk to other people? Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, why do
I tell
people
you
tie
what, like
that?
I've seen more of, we have a pretty decent homeschool group in our church, and all of those kids can carry on a conversation with adults
Yes.
without a problem.
Yes.
I've seen
Yeah.
not so much the case with those that are not homeschooled.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
Yep.
they're used to just being talked to and told what
Yes.
to think, and like it's just they don't have the interaction. I don't know if there might be something more to it than that, but it just that's what I've seen.
Mhm.
What we've experienced. It just seems like
Mhm.
any of my kids, even all the way down to my 2-year-old, like he will talk your ear off, like,
Yeah.
and he's like he'll say full. I mean, he's full sentences, everything. Like he'll just talk and talk and talk about all the things and how Jesus gave him $1,000 so he could go do this and that. And I'm like, well, we might need to be talking about that prosperity gospel stuff you're talking about. I'm not sure where you're getting that one from, but
Oh my gosh, that's so
wrong
good.
Sunday school class there, boy.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah, yeah, I get that often too. And it's we're they go to the grocery store, they do all these things with us, it's like if they say, oh, I want to go get that, I'm like, okay, well, go ask that person yourself,
Mhm.
you can do it.
Mhm.
I'm right here, and so they get forced to do things that are uncomfortable probably more often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's so funny though. That's so good. I love that. Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Bitcoin Success School. Bitcoin Success School is for people who want a deeper understanding of Bitcoin, self-custody, sovereignty, and long-term thinking, and building more freedom for themselves and their family. It's all about real education, practical guidance, and learning Bitcoin the right way.
If you've been ready to take Bitcoin seriously, book a call using our link below and see if Bitcoin Success School is the right fit for you. Go to bitcoinsuccessschool.com/call/Luna. That's bitcoinsuccessschool.com/call/Luna. And we'll see you on the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I was looking here too. So you work on the railroad then as
I
well,
do.
full time.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's my high paying, time consuming thing I do.
Nice. Do you do
Um,
that full time?
I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm on call 24/7 as well.
Oh,
So
wow.
I can get called at any time to go. I've got like 30 miles of track assigned to me to take care of, and my job is to make sure the trains always move.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. I make sure all the tests are done and they're all in compliance. And where the trains go from one track to the other, the switches, the signals, kind of like
Okay.
an electrician, I guess you could call. I mean, I don't get the title of electrician, but that's basically what I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then just like compliance testing for the government, the Federal Railroad Administration. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
so it's
Nice.
that's
So you collect fake money and then you convert it to real money.
yes, yes.
Nice.
Yes, and I like that you said convert because I have a little bit of I don't know, a hiccup with like where people are like, I'm gonna buy Bitcoin. I'm like, no, you're actually
Yeah.
exchanging for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I think that the mindset of it being an asset and being this like um purchasing something else idea, I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm pulling it out of a broken system and putting it into a different system. Like if
Exactly.
Canadian dollars held value more than US dollars and there was a way to convert it, I would do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it
Yeah.
just makes sense. Like if this one's losing and this one's doing not so much losing, well, I want the not so much losing one.
Yeah.
So I convert it. I'm not buying the dollars. I'm just converting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good. I think, I also get mixed up too because I'm always like, buy Bitcoin. Right? I'm always like, dude, this, and
That's easy.
so, but no, you're right. We're converting it. We're taking this broken money.
That's how I thought of it too when he first initially was talking about it. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go buy Bitcoin." I'm like, "Well, you're just moving our money over to another, like, we're putting it
Mm-hmm.
somewhere
Yeah.
else rather than
Mm-hmm.
buying it, because I'm not getting any." And so my mind was so literal, right? I was like, "Oh, we're
Right.
we're not getting anything physical from this, so we're just moving it over to another
Yeah.
account, if you will, right?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Um, yeah.
Yeah.
So-
And then also, so you have 6 kids. So are we done? Or are we having more? Where are we at,
No,
Cody?
I before we had the last one, I was told that I needed to schedule a surgery. So I took that as like, all right, she did her time, she did her thing.
She did her time.
Yeah, the last couple were fairly rough.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so it's kind of we feel like that's where God's put us, and that's where we're going to be done. We've had a couple miscarriages in there as well, and
Uh-huh.
so just it takes a toll after a while, and so it's something that we obviously they're a great blessing, and we love every single one of them, and the
Yeah.
ones that we've lost, and it's a great thing that we wouldn't trade any of them in or anything for nothing. I wouldn't trade them for Bitcoin either. I
Yeah.
may
Yeah.
I may have told them that a couple of times. If you don't knock it off, I don't know if I could even get a full Bitcoin for you.
It's great. I think it's so great. And when people hear this episode, because a lot of people, a lot of my friends and family that I hear, and people, I'm in sales,
Mhm.
with insurance. I'm an insurance agent, so I talk to people all day long, like new people and current
Yeah.
customers. I mean, insurance, and a lot of people are so scared, to have babies these days, right?
Mhm.
It's so common, and we had some Gen Z that I love Gen Zers. I really think they're going to be a huge, they're going to be like a huge, like I don't know what is it called, like
Impact. They're gonna
an
have a
impact,
huge
huge
impact.
impact
Yeah.
Yeah.
on our financials, like the money and stuff. Because I think
Mhm.
they're gonna be so debased, like we're all debased, right? We're all getting debased every day, but
Yeah.
they're gonna get hit the worst, and that they're like, This needs to just end," and they're just gonna
Mhm.
like draw a line in the sand, and because they've grown up in like such a digitized world that they're
Right.
like, you know what, our money needs to be digitized, and it needs to be the best form of money, and
Mhm.
so I think that'll be a huge moment. But going back to what your 6 babies, I think that's so great that you have 6 kids. We're at 3. I think we're
Nice.
done though. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
3 solid too.
It is,
3
yeah.
solid. I feel like I'm like, you
I've
know?
heard after 3 though, it's kind of like,
Yeah, oh, yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
What's
I
another?
think the hardest, obviously, I think the first one, because 'cause you're like, "Okay, now what do we do?"
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
you're, like, just trying stuff, and you're hoping that it lands. Um,
Yeah.
and then you kinda, like, learned enough with the first one, your second one, you're like, "Oh, man, that's a lot of work." And then third
Mhm.
is, like it's like I don't have you, Jim Gaffigan, the comedian?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
his
Love
his
him.
whole bit on kids and, like, home birth and midwives and stuff, like because we did all that as well.
Yeah.
And, like yeah, it's like, if you ever wonder what it's like to have, another baby or 3 babies or whatever, it's like, just pretend you're in a pool drowning and then somebody hands you another baby. Like, yeah, I mean, 3 kinda does feel a little overwhelming, but then, like, we just, like right I was putting everybody to bed and we, like, pray before bed and whatnot, and got everybody in there, and I was like, "Who are we missing?" Oh,
Yeah.
no one. This is everybody. Okay, that's all
Yeah.
of us are in here. That's weird. Like, okay, I'm like, oh, yep, that's it.
Yeah.
I feel like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's weird, like the way it feels after like the third, like it's kind of like, well, it's always been this way, or
Yeah.
it's just
Mhm.
easy, and it is a lot easier for us. I mean, because like now some of your kids are older, and they're
Yeah.
helping with taking care
Yes.
of some of the younger ones. Like we
Yeah.
have built-in babysitting now, so like we can leave anytime we want and go
Yeah.
anywhere we want for almost
Yeah.
as long as we want. Like, all right, you guys, you know how to do all the chores. Sydney, my daughter, she loves to cook, and so like
Nice.
yeah, everything's covered, man.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, dude, that's
I know,
good.
that's like when you hit another awesome milestone,
Oh
it's
yeah,
like, "Wait, is this real life? We can leave right
yeah.
now?" Like,
We
oh
are
my
right
gosh.
we are right there, so it's like, "All right, we'll get through this summer," and then that's kind of our busy season with baseball and stuff, and then once that's
Yep,
over, we'll feel the impact of the ease, and then, yeah, it's gonna be nice.
gosh. You're balancing a lot, Cody.
Mhm.
This is a lot. I mean, your wife too. You guys are both balancing a lot too,
Yes.
and so you're balancing full-time railroad career, entrepreneurship, faith. You're part of your church, and just having a large family. Like, how are you kind of structuring your time? Like, how are you structuring
Yeah.
your day and like navigating that? I think that's helpful and encouraging to some
Yeah.
people who are navigating that too.
Yeah, I mean, so like you said, structure is pretty important. I'm a very like scheduled person. I get up 4:30 every day and I get ready, I get my coffee, I come downstairs, I do my reading, my study, whatever I need to do. 6 o'clock, I make my breakfast. I'm getting my rest stuff ready for work, and then I go to work all day, come home. So I'm like very regimented. Um,
Mhm.
it seems to work for me in that regard because I can compartmentalize and categorize priorities for each day and week and month. Um, but honestly, like, my wife is the manager of our home. She runs the place.
Mhm.
She keeps it going. I'm not here, most of the week, most of the day. And so I got to have a good manager in order to have that happen. And so you look at
Yeah.
Proverbs 31, and that's exactly what I see is this woman who is doing all this. She's doing commerce and she's doing education. She's doing all these different things, keeping everything
Mhm.
rolling. And it's all about her doing all that. And so we've kind of divvied it up that way. And we're very blessed that we don't have to have two incomes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We did I don't necessarily agree 100% with everything he's done, but Dave Ramsey's debt snowball, it worked for us. We got out of debt other
Yeah.
than our home. And that's key. That really is like, you gotta have a way to have a little bit of hope. Debt is slavery, and it's
Yep.
Yeah.
it's something that is really burdensome because then it almost forces the other spouse into work. But then at the same time, it's like, well, now if you don't have an older kid like I do, well, now you got a kid childcare you got to take for. And for us, that would be, I'd got to take out a second mortgage in order for
Mhm.
Yeah.
childcare. Well, that's a lot of kids. Um, so yeah, it just takes a good structure and a good kind of divvying of responsibilities. And she runs everything here. I trust her with that, and I go to work and I do the coffee stuff, and and then yeah, we just kind of have a pretty good method in that. And so communication. We're not. I mean, I'm not gonna say we're perfect. That's for sure. I mean, my
Yeah.
wife would do the same. Like, we have our rough spots. We have our ups and downs. We have difficulties. I don't want to paint like, oh, we're living this amazing American dream. Like,
Yeah.
it is a cool thing to be able to participate in. But God is really the one who's done it for us. Like, He's
Yeah.
laid it all out. Like you were saying a little bit ago, that the pieces all have lined up, and we
Mhm.
haven't like forced things to happen. We haven't over leveraged or anything like that. Taken We've done some mistakes here and there, and taken some risk where we probably shouldn't have, and have paid the stupid tax for that. But
Mhm.
for the most part, it's you keep focus. Our faith is the center of all of it. We're very you know, Christian family. Like, we
Yeah.
go to church every Sunday. We participate in everything there. We do stuff with the kids throughout the week, reading the Bible, praying, teaching them. As Proverbs says, train them in the way that they'll go, and when they're old, they won't depart from it. And so we rest
Mhm.
in that. Like, we know that that's the only thing that's really going to sustain us in this crazy, chaotic,
Mhm.
demonic
Yep.
world that we're in. And so we have to train them and teach them in those ways to fortify that. And really, that is our foundation we work off of. And again, there's easy times, there's hard times. We had some really, really hard loss and difficulty in the last about 6, 7 years, with family loss of all ages, of the spectrum in our family. We've had a lot of death. And those things are difficult, and they're trying, um, but it drives us back to the Bible. And like you said at the beginning, my story, kind of everything kind of went to Bitcoin. Um, and I think the reason of that is because Bitcoin is like a truth item,
Mhm.
because it is kind of a moral truth. Like it's unchangeable. Like a lot of the definers of Bitcoin match with the scriptures, and it can't be changed. God isn't changeable. And I mean, I'm not saying Bitcoin is God. I'm not going to ever say that because that's
Yeah.
blasphemous. But there's a lot of parallelisms between the two ideologies, and I think whoever Satoshi was at minimum a religious person and knew stuff about the Bible.
Hmm.
I find it really hard to believe that isn't the case.
Yeah.
But who knows? So yeah, like that truth basis, and that's why I think it goes back to the Bitcoin thing, and that's why we go back to our faith.
Hmm.
Bitcoin's a nice benefit to that,
Yep.
because it helps reinforce some of my other beliefs about life and finances, and you know just weights and balances and being a good
Hmm.
steward. It's the only thing that works scripturally from what I can see.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so that's why I've really adopted that. But it all really goes back to God and what he's done
Yeah.
for us in
No,
providing.
that's so good. And the reason why I asked too is because I know a lot of people that like who are not like have a faith base or not religious or and then when they get into Bitcoin, they're like, "Oh wow, it kind of leads them to having a faith or like maybe even like going down,
Questioning.
questioning things and
Yeah.
going down the
Right.
rabbit hole." Because the deeper you go down the rabbit hole, again, like doesn't matter what like item or what like subject it is, but you will fall back into Bitcoin. And the truth of Bitcoin is like you said, it's like a truth item, it's like a truth. And so like how could they're like they almost are parallel together. And so when we but again, it's God. Like I'm not saying like Bitcoin's got like Bitcoin over God or anything like that. No, like
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a lot of similarities as far as like a lot of truths and a lot of like just being consistent.
Yeah.
And so, um, it was cool because when I first got on Bitcoin, I was like, "Oh, like this is awesome! Like everything is aligning with all my values that I already have right now." I'm like, "This is just an extra bonus that's like even like pure as far as like in this money world that we have to participate in."
Hmm.
So
Right.
I don't know. I think people like because people will hear this podcast right for the first time, or people that are not haven't gone down the rabbit hole. They'll be like, "What are you talking about, God and Bitcoin?" Like you need to go down the rabbit hole and you'll understand more.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
no,
that
that's
was
really
one of
good.
the reasons why I wasn't so skeptical when he was talking to me
Mhm,
about Bitcoin was because
Mhm.
everything that was coming out or that I would see was positive.
mhm.
People were like encouraging other people. People were getting in shape.
Yeah.
Like he was reading more. He was, in his Bible more. Like so I was like all these things. I can't even though I have no idea what you're talking about, I can't even get mad about it. So it was I knew that it was a positive thing. It was just that I, wasn't at the capacity of being able to absorb any new information at that time,
Yeah,
Right.
having new young kids all at once. And it was like, you want me to learn a new
yeah.
money system right
Now I
now?
want you to learn the money system. Now she's learning a new money system, and it's fun though. It's
But it
fun.
is fun. It's been really cool to now that I'm like have the, a little bit
Capacity.
more capacity to do that.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
It's
cool
awesome.
because like I'm a huge with like a unit, right? Doing things together, Cody. And like
Mhm.
I think like you and your wife, right? You guys are a perfect example. Doing everything that you guys have on your plate, you guys can only do that together.
Yeah.
Right.
Together.
Yeah.
Like there's no way you guys can do that by yourself. Either one of you do it by yourselves.
No,
Mhm.
There's
no,
no
it's
way.
an impossibility. And yeah, like I said, it's all really goes back to the faith thing. And yeah, if I didn't have God as my central focal point, then I one it'd be all like pointless and hopeless anyway. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah.
Mhm.
exactly. The wanted to ask you, so to kind of like close things out here too. One of the things that we always like to do is like, is there anything that you would like recommend to someone who's first getting into Bitcoin right now? What's something that they should, maybe focus on?
Hmm. I mean, I think really my approach is at first I kind of got a little burned out on orange pilling people.
Yeah.
Um, and so I try to take a little bit different approach now, and where I talk a little bit more about our money system currently, the US
Hmm.
dollar, because honestly, like when I think about it, that's kind of what drew me to Bitcoin anyways. I'm like, why not use the same trail that I took?
Yeah.
So I'd say like look at why your savings isn't actually saving anything. Like, look
Mm-hmm.
at why prices are going up. It's not because the grocery stores are greedy and they're making a
Yeah.
massive amount. Grocery stores have like one of the smallest amount of profits percentage
Mm-hmm.
base wise of all places. So it's not that. And what happened with the eggs? I mean, they still came out of a chicken.
Yeah.
Um, it's
Yeah.
as far as I know, they haven't made super chickens yet, to where they're like just crushing eggs all day or something. Like, it will lay an egg a day. That's like a chicken. That's what they do.
Yeah.
So like they didn't upgrade the facilities or the places the chickens are staying. It's not like they're in a
Yeah.
5-star like chicken hutch or something. Kicked back on like puppy hay or something. Like they're not like trying to like nothing happened with chickens,
Yeah.
man. They're
That has
chickens.
gotten better.
Why is it $9 for a dozen eggs? Like, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like,
It's crazy.
so yeah, why are things the way that they are? Like, should we? And especially like when it comes to health and like what RFK is doing and stuff, like kind of questioning the man, for lack of better terms. You
Yeah.
Yeah.
you go into an investment advisor and he's sitting behind the desk and you're the dumb one and he knows everything. You go to a doctor and you're the dumb one and he knows everything. And
Yep.
the same with any of these other suits or jackets that people wear. And
Yep.
it kind of goes back to that homeschooling mentality. Like, I don't need to be a teacher behind a desk to know that I'm not dumb. I can teach my
Yeah.
Mhm.
kid.
Yeah.
So like taking that, and this is a very, like, I was homeschooled my whole life, and so I'm very self-driven too.
Mhm.
Started multiple businesses, doing all this stuff. It's not for everyone. I will
Yep.
say that. But money is for anyone and everyone. Like, you don't
Yep.
have a choice. You got to use it.
Yep.
But you're working for 40 plus years and you're trying to save in something you don't understand. Like, why not invest 5 years of that time or 5 hours of that time to just kind of learn about, like, okay, is what I'm doing the best approach? Like, is there
Mhm.
something different? Is there a problem with this $40 trillion of debt that the government has, and how does that actually impact me?
Yeah.
Start asking questions is kind of the big thing. Like, why is it this way, and is there? And I'm not saying necessarily go straight to Bitcoin. Obviously, that's what I'd recommend. But there's other avenues that people can first go down that hopefully they don't get rug pulled. But
Mhm.
and there's people like us that want to help and educate people. I mean, that's my next entrepreneurial drive, is to help people like onboard and like set this stuff up hands on with them, so they can take sovereign responsibility over their finances and not offshore it to somebody else and pay them a percent or a 3/4%. You do that and you add that up over the course of your 30-year career,
Yeah.
they're making mad cash off of you.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
they're basically a timeshare, because they're doing that with not just you, but with all of their clients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Yep.
financial timeshare that they're taking from people. And I'm like, I
Mhm.
Yeah.
don't like that. So, if I'm going to do something, you're going to pay one number, pay a flat rate, give you all the stuff, all the information that you need, set you up. Now go pass it on,
Yeah.
That's
kind of a
great.
thing. And so I think, yeah, education, and just diving down a rabbit hole, is
Mhm.
is probably something that a lot of people could do. But it is tough in this day and
Yep.
age. People are constantly having to work, multiple jobs and all that stuff. So if you got to be working all the time, throw some headphones on, listen to some podcasts, find a local Bitcoiner that and say, hey, do you have any recommendations on podcasts or books that I could listen to or
Yep.
read when I have downtime, and just do a
Mhm.
little bit of research, like just kind of work on it on your own and get the bug, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
such good advice. That's really good advice
It's
to
really good. It's
share.
like if you're trading your time for dollars every day, you're leaving your family plus 40 plus hours a week. Like, know the thing that you're trading your time for,
Hmm.
Mhm.
right? Study,
Yeah.
study. Don't be the person that doesn't study money.
Yeah.
Like, what?
How
Right?
much is your time worth to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I work a fairly decent job. I hate overtime with a passion because it
Yeah.
takes me away from my home and my family.
Yep.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so I hate every minute that I'm away. I don't like even going to my regular hours because I'm not at home with my family.
Yeah.
So
Dude.
like, that's the idea of, you're going to a job and they're like, oh, it's $10 an hour. Like, do you feel that your hours are worth $10?
Yeah.
Or do you feel like is your time worth more than that? Now, obviously you have to get some entry points and stuff. You got to get some experience and that kind of stuff, so you're not
Mhm.
Yeah.
gonna, right out of high school, you're probably not gonna get a 70-hour dollar an hour job or something,
Yeah.
but reasonably, when you get up
Yeah.
there a little ways, like, yeah, if you have a family and you're trying to build a life, is is that worth it? Is what you're getting paid hourly worth what you're doing? And if it is, okay, good. But do you know, like you said, like those dollars that you're trading out for your time, what are they really going to do for you? And then you're going to try to hold that value and give it to your kids. And as the Bible says, your children's children.
Yeah.
That's not going to work in this fiat system.
Mm-mm.
There's got to be
Mm-mm.
something different you got to do.
Yeah.
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 Dude,
Yeah. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So we got to definitely start changing something because it's just not working right now.
Yeah.
So, man, that's awesome, Cody. Where can people connect with you if they want to, hear some insight?
Yeah. So I'm mostly on Twitter, is kind of my main spot my abode, I guess you could say. I have a few different profiles, but I'll just give my main one.
okay.
It's Code Mana 18, Codemana. So Code
o-
Man the number 18. Um,
Okay.
you can also find me at Coinstead Gen, as my new one that I just started up just recently. Um,
Okay.
those are the two main ones. You can find me there. I do a lot of perusing and retweeting and commenting and liking, in the Bitcoin community and here and there and doing stuff. So yeah, I'm working on
Cool.
my social media persona, I guess you could call it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
No, that's cool, Cody. I think I think it's great that we can connect with you until you go full like island mode and like you just disconnect from the whole world.
He's just not going to even need anybody.
Dude, it's gonna
He's going to be like, I don't even need to talk to anybody anymore.
yeah, I will. I'll still be around because I like technology and I like the community that I'm in, and it's fun. And I'm hoping to share like my process on my Twitter page too, what we're doing, and kind of build it out and let people kind of watch it happen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm working with a guy to do some of it, with the Bitcoin mining DC setup and whatnot, but yeah, for the most part, I'm gonna try to document a lot of it to at least throw it out there so people can like, oh man, that's cool. Help me do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And
Oh
that's going
yeah.
to be on your Coinstead one, right? The one that you
Um,
that
that'll
were
probably be on my Code Mana
okay,
one.
okay.
That's my main profile. That the Coinstead one's gonna be my business
Okay.
one. So I'll probably try to keep them somewhat separate though. Yeah, I got to keep them separate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Dude, thanks,
Thank you
Cody.
so
Man,
much
You
for
bet.
your time. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
yeah, this was fun.
Super grateful to be on, and yeah, I loved it. Thank you.
All right,
Absolutely.
guys.
Thank you everyone for tuning in to the Moon with the Lunas podcast, and we will see you all on the moon.
Bye. This episode is brought to you by Bitcoin Success School. Bitcoin Success School is for people who want a deeper understanding of Bitcoin, self custody, sovereignty, and long term thinking, and building more freedom for themselves and their family. It's all about real education, practical guidance, and learning Bitcoin the right way.
If you've been ready to take Bitcoin seriously, book a call using our link below and see if Bitcoin Success School is the right fit for you. Go to bitcoinsuccessschool.com/call/Luna. That's bitcoinsuccessschool.com/call/Luna. And we'll see you on the moon.